am Liz Akinbode, and I am the Diaspora.
Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Iveoma Media. I'm the founder of I Am the Diaspora, a show that focuses on Africans in the diaspora who are building businesses that touch Africa or that are in Africa. Today's guest is Liz Akinbode. Liz is a comedian. She's a TV presenter. She's a model. She is a media personality. She's doing amazing things in the city of New York. I had the privilege of chatting with her about her projects, TV shows, events, and really how to build a media personality. She's doing a great job. And so enjoy. Thank you so much, Liz, for being a part of the show. The reason I was so excited to interview you is because there are not that many Africans, people in the diaspora who are jumping into the life of media. So can you tell us how you started your career?
So, I think it was just something that was kind of natural for me. By day, I should say, like I have a night job, right? But by day, I have been working as a human services professional for probably the last 16 years. And so I've always had an innate passion to take care of others, to serve the underprivileged, that kind of thing. But that too can kind of get tiring. And there's a lot of other things that I love to do that still entails me looking after people and making them happy and just bringing togetherness. And so I said, okay, what else is it that I love doing? I love working out, and that does require helping people be in their best shape. Mm-hmm. But I also love to make people laugh. I also love to entertain. I love to leave behind an experience. And so that's what got me into comedy. That's where I really kind of started. I started off with a little bit of comedy, and I was doing that on Instagram. My sister was like, "You're funny, and it's only guys doing it. You might as well just go start doing it on Instagram." And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, they're trying, but these African guys cannot mimic our mothers. I'm sure you can do this. And I obviously have an African mom, so that's how that began. Then I got into radio, and I became a radio host for about 2 years with Under the Rock Radio. And now currently work with My Star Radio as a radio host again of my own show, and got into some acting. It just, all of this started, I would say, probably about 2013. That's when it really, I really got into it like full time. Like I even left my day job at 1 year and said, I'm just going to pursue this. I'm going to open up doors. I'm going to start building connections and at least get my name out there. But realistically, I had to work. I had to put money in my pockets.
So tell us, how did you said that you have to lead your day job. Like, what was your background in?
It was in social services.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
It still is actually.
Yes. So you do social services, and you also are a TV presenter, comedian, and I think you do modeling or fitness modeling as well?
Yes, I do. Fitness modeling, no. I've been told that I should probably get into it, but no, I don't do fitness modeling. I just do the regular modeling, commercial, sometimes runway. If I were taller, I'd probably stay on runway, but I'm not that tall.
No, I thought that's what was so inspiring about what you're doing, because so many of us went down a career path and we're trying to switch into doing something creative. And I love that you said that you started on Instagram. Can you tell us about because you started this in 2013. First of all, I went through your social media accounts, and it's really hard to see that you started all of this in 2013. I'm not even joking. You have so much work done. Every single, if you go through her Instagram, what is your Instagram title?
One of them is Mama Sade. That's Mama_Sade. That's the median mother, the African mother. And then all the other hats that I wear on another professional end is Liz, the international diva. So
on Liz, the international diva, she works every single week. She's at an event. She's holding a mic. I have to say, I'm super impressed that you were able to, you started all of this in 2014. You were able to scale so quickly. And so can you talk about how you started on Instagram, how that helped you? And that's a lot of questions actually.
So I am so not the social media person. Technology is really not my thing. And I had to really get into it, so I would post something up, but I would never go back. And then I'd have friends or family say, you got a lot of comments there. Aren't you going to answer your fans? And I'm like, fans? I have fans. So it kind of started off that way. I was like, wow, people are actually interested. And strangely enough, I was looking for negative comments. Like I was looking for who doesn't like me, who thinks I'm not funny. And I wasn't finding not one person. So I said, it's either they're like, I don't really have anything bad to say about her, but I don't think she's that funny. And they just don't like it, which I do the same thing. We're all entitled to that. But for the most part, people were enjoying what I was doing. And then when this whole DM thing came up, I would get messages, people saying, you're so funny. You remind me of my mom. What I used to once hate growing up as an African, I can actually look back and say, wow, this is why I'm the person I am today. And I can laugh at it. This is just who our parents are. And so social media opened up that door. I was getting a few endorsements and people wanting me to do commercials. And because I'm not privy to social media like that, I wasn't really sure if they were for real. But I hear that this is what they do. I've yet to take on an offer, right? But I do get this. So it means that you're doing something. So that's what opened the door for me to get into some acting, which I'm now currently a cast member of Afro-Americans. So it's basically Africans of, African descent, living the American dream here in America. So everything we're doing, that fight we're fighting to pursue our dream, we're basically telling you guys that story. So I'm excited about that. And it was because of Mama Sade that I got that role. The director said, are you Mama Sade? So to be a fan of somebody who's gonna, so I was like, wow, look at that. So look at God, I should say. And that's kind of what really opened up the door for just everything else.
Did you use like YouTube or any other social media platforms, or did you rely solely on Instagram?
No, actually, I started off on Instagram. I am the advocate for all. I am the outspoken one. A lot of people think I should get into politics. It's not my thing. I'm just very passionate about whatever is passionate to me, and so I kind of started like that. So that voice turning into comedy was like, wait, is this the same Sister Soldier who turns around and she's this crazy African mom? So by default from Facebook, that following kind of just led to Instagram. So really, I started off as a public figure of such, if you want to say, with Facebook. I just started getting used to Instagram maybe 3 years now.
So pretty much you grew off, you put your content out there, you put what you wanted to do out there, you put on your social media accounts, and then you said that people started DMing you or offering endorsements. Can you talk about that?
So the DMs would be, just messages of people saying, I really like your work. Thank you. You're so funny. I look forward to watching you every day. And so those things told me, okay, I'm making people happy, which is something I already innately like to do. So I have to try to keep up. And sometimes I go weeks on end not posting anything, but it's not easy. With the endorsements or maybe like advertisements, like they might want me to do a commercial or two with my comedy, but it's kind of putting their work out there. And I never really had anything authentic, like in writing, to make me believe that this is something that's real. So it's kind of hard to know. I'll Google it and the company might seem real, but I'm always still skeptical. Like I feel like I need to see you face to face with paperwork and a contract. I'm the old school.
So let's talk about everything that you're doing now with your career, because you're saying you're also getting into acting, and then the hiring director recognized you. Like, like that's crazy.
I know. So, it wasn't so much of getting into acting. I noticed that in this business, or in this field of entertainment, if there's a particular thing you want to do, you might have to take certain avenues, to kind of be recognized or to get there. And it wasn't so much acting that I wanted to do. I'm a radio host. I'm a TV personality. I like to be on TV. I like people to see my expressions. I feel like I'm very expressive. I want people to hear and see the passion that I'm giving. So I always said that someday I'll be a TV talk show host, and I would be the one to change the entire game when it comes to talk show. And so I was like, how do I get out there without having to, cut odd corners, but still be legit, if you know what I mean, because I don't want to be offensive to anybody. To each his own, right? But I was like, how do I get here and keep my clothes on and keep my dignity, and make it, for lack of a better phrase, And so I was like, if comedy is going to do it, since that was what was reigning, it was, I'm like, why is Africa so cool now? We've been in existence from the time of existence, so it was so weird. I'm like, you know what, since I am an actual product of two Nigerians, let me take advantage of this, since being African is so cool. And that's where, just my passion for entertaining came about.
When you told your family, like, look, I know I have this social background, I want to go into entertaining and entertainment and comedy, what did they say? Like, what were their reactions like?
Well, I never, it's interesting. I never really sat my mom and my late dad, may his soul rest in peace. I never really sat them down to say, this is what I want to do. I used to just come to them and say, oh, so by the way, I got a gig here, or look at this video I put up, or they'll hear it by default from their friends. Like, is this your daughter?
Oh, okay.
And then my mother's like, oh, Lord, because see, what I exhibit on social media is who I am at home. I'm the clown. I've just always been that way. So my mother is like a testimony to my crazy now. Like, oh, when she was 5, she was always imitating all of us in the household. So I'm not surprised. It's just that I actually turned it into work for myself, So I never really had to sit them down and say, this is what I want to do. Not to say that she wasn't the average African mom that thought you should be a nurse or a doctor or an accountant or something to that effect, but she still kind of allowed us to just be our individual person.
When you also started media a little later in your career, like, do you think your age has affected anything?
Great question. Age is a number, because when people see me, they never believe my age. So I would say that my physical, my outward appearance has played in my favor without me having to mention age, because yes, I did feel like, oh my God, I'm like years old and I want to go into media now. Can I really make it? What am I going to have to do? Do I have to keep up with these young girls? And does my hair have to be flowing down my back? Does my makeup have to be on fleek? With the word you're saying, like, can I just be myself and just let people, see the passion that I have for it? Like, I'm really talented. You do sort of start to question yourself. You feel like you have to compete with the younger people out there. But over time, when people come up to you and make you feel that, no, you're good, like, you're really good, and they come to me and ask, how did you get into this? And what do you do? It's just me hustling, just throwing elbows, like, I got to get in. Give me a chance. Let me do it. And that's just the fight. That's what it's been for me. I never really allowed age to hold me back.
I think that's that's fantastic. Because that's the one thing I saw when I would Google, like, how to be a TV presenter and how to do certain things in media. The age question came up a lot. Like, all these people online are like, am I too old to do this? And to see someone like you start it later and still hold down. Do you work full time?
I sure do.
How do you do that? Because like, that seems really hard.
It's okay. The nature of my job is not easy. We're talking about needy people, right? We all need something, but God has given us that extra grace to be able to kind of just take a breather and say, all right, you got to do what you got to do to get it. But unfortunately, there are people that just can't get to that level of cognition that we have, so they need people like us to kind of help them get there. That is not easy. And then after that, I got to think about, okay, my show is coming on Thursdays. I got to clear my mind. I can't think about this particular client. Got to get into that. Then on the weekends, and by His grace, I've been getting more bookings to come and host events, or it could be any type of event. They just want me to come and host and be an MC, because it's not so much about how I'm hosting. It's just that experience. It's what I leave behind that they remember. Like, this, she's such a great spirit. And I kind of just want to share that with people, not so much of the hosting, but just the spiritual part of it. Like, when I come here, you're going to enjoy your own event. You're going to feel like you came to somebody else's event, like it's not even yours. And that's the experience I want to leave. Working a 9-to-5 and trying to build your dream, it is possible, but I will not lie to anybody. It is not easy. Like I said, I had quit some time before And it worked for me because it allowed me to open doors. It allowed me to meet people, network, and all those things, and kind of start pushing my way out there. But at some point, I started getting hungry, and I had to eat.
Yeah.
So it's okay if you work the 9 to 5. That's fine, and it's okay if you really don't think that you have so much of a talent to maybe say that you want to build your brand, but you every now and then have a plan, have a backup, because a 9 to 5 is not promised to you. So if you have that little backup, there'll be a passion there. And maybe sometimes losing that 9 to 5 is what will push you to get that passion that you have on the side. And so it's not easy. I can't lie about that. It's definitely difficult.
So can you talk to us about like the money side of media? Like how do people, like when you host an event, are you getting paid to host that event? Like how do you make money in media?
Some events, I think you weigh it out. It's up to you. And I think it's how long you've been doing it. When I first started out, I won't lie, I thought, okay, I started looking up what people in media would normally pay, what's their salary.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of going off of that. Then I had to scale back and say, but wait, nobody really knows you. How can you just start charging and they don't even know you? You have nothing to show for your work or anything like that. So in my opinion, in order to start charging people, you might want to have like reels and clips, a website where people can see what you've done thus far. That way they can say, oh, wow, look at how she pulled that crowd. Oh, she does great at weddings and she does great at birthday parties. And even for kids, this is great. Yeah, I can definitely see myself paying her that much. Sometimes people are skeptical. Then you'll have some people out there who don't care. They're like, tell me your price. I just need somebody. I can't talk. And if you know how to talk in front of people, please do it. You give a price, but you give a price that's reasonable. But not everyone in media gets paid. Sometimes you got to cut your loss and just look at it as, I want to get people, I want to get out there. I want people to know me. So it's not every event that you need to charge. You can weigh it out. If it's a really large event and you know that, okay, these people have a pretty good budget. I know the DJ is going to get paid. Security is going to get paid. Why shouldn't I get paid? And that's something that you can sit down and actually talk to the person about. Like, listen, talking is not easy. I lose my voice every other day, so I have to be compensated for something. This is work for me. This is a brand. And some people are understanding of that.
When you, do you eventually see yourself like leaving your full-time job, your 9 to 5 in social work and doing the TV presenting, comedy, the media life full-time?
Yes, by the grace of God, I'm working towards that, and I hope that really comes to fruition. But I'm never going to leave being, the humanitarian in me. I'm never going to leave social services. If anything, I will allow my passion in TV and media and all of that to get me to a place where I can afford to take care of people without having to work for someone to do it.
So I think a lot of people want to get into this world, but they don't know any action. It seems the steps to get into media, the steps to do what you're doing, it seems so vague and how can somebody get into media and do what you are doing? Like, how do they get bookings? How do they do all this stuff? Because it seems like there's no path.
Yeah.
It's very vague. like do whatever you can.
Yeah, it's like a vague career path in a way, in terms of getting in. Once you're in, you're okay, but people are selfish when it comes to media and entertainment. If you don't have a strong mind and backbone, and then you're not secure in what you're good at, you will allow the fact that people are not willing to tell you how they get in upset you. Mm-hmm. Because they probably have to go above and beyond. Maybe they have to do some things that weren't very dignifying, but they're in, and if they see you as a threat, they're not trying to tell you. So you have to figure it out. And for me, I'm just still going through it. Because sometimes when I think I've reached a certain place where I'm like, okay, I should be good here, so something else just happens. Like, it's like a new trend, and you're like, oh my God, how do I get to that point? So it might not be you getting to where another person is. It's just you getting out there where people can see you, where people can see your uniqueness. So I would say this is the world of social media. So take advantage of that. If you have family or friends who share in your passion, tell them, hey, listen, are you free on Mondays and Fridays? I'm going to need somebody to record me while I do this. You be my critic. You tell me if this is, funny or not, or you tell me if the way I'm delivering my speech makes sense. Let people that truly care about you and truly share your passion with you and feel that you should go ahead, help you out and start recording. You might need to invest So if you're already working a 9 to 5, it means you can probably put a couple of hundreds to the side to get a camera, to get a microphone, and to just, build yourself a backdrop and act like you're talking to a bunch of people and get the sound effects in the background of people clapping or something. But that's something that allows you to showcase your talent. And by default, people will start sharing it. And if you're sharing information to people that can relate to it, that following will build. You got to be consistent. You can't be like all over the place, because then people will get confused. Okay, what do you like? Is it politics? Is it relationships? Is it all of the above? You got to stick to one thing, and anything that you post should kind of surround that, because those are the people that will follow you. Other people will pass by and go, oh, that's cool, but you might not be of interest in them, and that's fine. But there's going to be people that are interested in what you do, and you want to keep them interested. So you got to post, not all the time. Every time I scroll through my timeline, I'm always seeing you posting something. That can be annoying. Mm-hmm. But maybe one a day or one every other day. But social media is the way to go at this point. And I dreaded it, but you got to go with the flow.
So what would your first steps be to like building a following? Like, what would your advice be to someone who's brand new to this, who doesn't know anything about social media? Like, what would you advise them?
Well, first and foremost, start your account. When you start an account, by default, social media is going, because of your contacts, and they have access to everything in your phone. They will suggest friends to you. Just follow them. Some are going to see your name and go, oh, she's on social media now. Okay. Because they just want to be nosy. Technically, we all want to be nosy. So start with that. Just follow people. Don't worry about this whole thing about, oh, you shouldn't be following more people than they're following you. Oh, please, give me a break. Because those people are very successful now. They don't care how many people are following them. So don't really look at that. Don't pay attention to it's how many followers you have that makes you important. You are important regardless. So try to block all of that out. And then when you open up your page or pages, whatever it is, keep posting. Learn how to use hashtags. Instagram has made it even more user-friendly by clicking on the analytics to know what times are the best for you to post. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the things that are trending on your page and look at the hashtags. Even if it doesn't pertain to your post, put it on there, because it'll drive that traffic. It'll trend on somebody else's page. And people who know you through somebody else who knows that person, by default, your friends are starting to see it because of the trending page. And I think that's the best way to get your foot in the door. After that, you start to, You start to hone in your own way of dealing with social media. But I think to begin with, definitely start the page. Definitely follow the people that they suggest, and follow people that follow icons that you like. Follow them, see what they're doing, look at their hashtags and stuff like that. People that are in the field of what you're interested in, follow them also. Every now and then comment, oh, wow, I really admire what you're doing. I think what you're doing is great. That's it. Sometimes people can feel the energy through your message to them, and they'll end up clicking on your page and might even now Instagram, you can like the comment. They might even like your comment. That'll sort of boost you up a bit, like, wow, this is my favorite person of all time, and they actually liked my comment. I must be doing something right. It means they probably took a look at your page and they said, wow, she's doing good. They're not going to tell you, but the fact that they liked it is just enough. I think when we can start seeing views, that's when it's going to really matter. So those are the little ways to start. And then you kind of just hone it and do your own thing.
So I think now, tell us about the projects that you're doing. I think, no, first of all, that was great advice. Thank you so much for that. Especially the trending Instagram thing. I never thought about that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah. I'm serious, yeah.
So thank you for that. I think that's awesome. But tell us about the projects that you are currently doing.
So right now, I'm really just focusing on building my media platform, which is Diva TV. And the premise of that platform is to showcase, and I think I was telling you this too, Iveoma, it's just to highlight people in the community around us that are doing things great. So if it's in fitness, whether you're a community leader, you're someone who wants to open up a school, you're a small business vendor, an entrepreneur, whatever it is, I want to be that person that is there first to capture everything, because you probably would never see it on national TV. And maybe that's where they're trying to go. So by default, whoever's watching my channel on YouTube, which I just started, by the way, I'm still getting the hang of it.
I'm going to follow you.
Yeah, whoever's watching my channel will say, "Oh, this is interesting." And if they read, what the purpose of my channel is, like, "Oh, okay." Some people might follow just to see what it's about. If people unfollow you, that's just life. I mean, in real life, are they following you? You don't know them, so you can't even really be mad at that. It's just what people find interesting. So that's what I really want to focus on at this moment, is to make that media platform grow.
I think that's a great idea. I know that's what I'm trying to do with mine, but I think your premise is fantastic. I think a lot of people are going to be really interested in that,
Yeah.
especially since you live in New York. Like,
Everything's going on.
Yes, people would love that. Local businesses, like regular people, small businesses who are just open.
There you go. That's it. Yes.
See,
it's true. Like, in plain English, you got it. Yeah.
No, I think it's a fantastic idea. Tell us about your acting. Tell us also about what has been your biggest like TV presenting like experience or just experience like hosting.
I would say my biggest one, which was very nerve-wracking, was having to be Mama Sade as a comedian on stage. I do not do stand-up, and excuse me, I felt honored for somebody to see that. This was with U.S. Africa Synergy. And, so when Natasha hit me up, she's like, oh, listen, no, we need Mama Sade on that stage. And I'm like, she doesn't do stand-up. I just don't do stand-up. I was like, how am I going to do this? So a fellow social media friend of mine, she said, well, think about it. You have so many storylines on Instagram. Why not put them all together and say that on stage? And I was like, she has a point. So I got to pick one of these storylines that had like a part 1, a part 2, a part 3, and just make it into one. And it worked. I mean, I was like, people were coming up to me saying, when is your next show? Are you touring? And I was like, no, it made me even more nervous. So I would say that was probably the biggest thing I ever had to do. And then maybe even hosting like this very famous French artist that came. I think he's from Senegal. Oh God, I hope I didn't get the country wrong. But that's the Fally Ipupa guy. And when he came to be on stage, and to actually bring him on, that was a great feeling too. So even though people are not hitting you up every day, just that one contact through somebody else you may have been working with to say, oh, by the way, Liz, this promotional team has been trying to get to you. I'm sorry I was so late. Here's the contact number. Call them. So people are watching you. People see that you're doing something. So I think it's wonderful. And of course, this digital series that I mentioned earlier, Afro-Americans, is another big thing for me because it's going to be great. There are some very prominent people out there that are looking at it and they really love it.
That's fabulous. Oh, is it out already or is it going to be out soon?
Not yet. It's coming out soon. Very soon.
Okay.
We're still working.
Okay, that's actually really exciting. I got like a press background to the show.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Do you have anything else you would like to mention?
No, I just want to say for anybody, those who are watching or who are listening, and you're like sitting in your bed and you're itching and you're scratching like, oh my God, I really want to be a tailor. I really want to be a designer. I really want to be an actor, actress, a preacher, whatever. Go for it. Like, don't let anything hold you back. There's going to be those moments, those stumbling blocks where people are going to make you feel discouraged. Even your closest, that could be your husband, that could be your wife, that could be your mother, your sister, your brother, anybody. Even they, because they don't understand the drive that you have, it's like inadvertently discouraging you. You can't let that get you down. And the only way that you can make everybody understand the love that you have for what you want to do is by showing and proving. So don't give up.
Yes, I like that. I like that you mentioned sometimes people don't give you explicit disapproval, but they just don't understand.
Right.
Like, you're so excited about this thing and you're talking about it and they're like, oh, that's nice.
Like, how are you going to make your money?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
How are you going to make money? Oh, like, you see their faces.
That's true.
It's still like, oh, nice try.
Your face just now, that was the perfect face for like, oh.
I'm used
Okay.
to that face. That's why
Yes.
I can do it like this.
Yes, I agree. Oh my God.
Well, I definitely love talking to you. Can you tell people where they can find you? Because you mentioned several different media handles.
So no, so the major ones. I'm on Facebook. I do have the Facebook page for Mama Sade too, but the same information on Mama Sade Facebook is the same on Instagram. So it's Mama MAMA_Sade. There's no H. It's SADE. That's how we Africans really spell it. And then Liz, the International Diva. So it's Liz_INTNL_Diva. That's the Liz, the International Diva. And YouTube, I just started. Same name, Liz International Diva. That's basically the umbrella of every brand. Diva TV is fluxed with International Diva, so to speak, since kind of one. So if you go onto YouTube, you'll see that that's what the background is, so you know you're not on the wrong page. And then I have a website, still kind of under construction, but it's www.lizinternationaldiva.com. International is not spelled out, it's INTNLDIVA. And I know a lot of people say, where did she get International Diva from? Well, I know I'm a diva, but I know that I'm going to be known internationally, so I just put it in one.
That's so true. That's actually the reason that I reached out to interview you. Was our friend Noelle told me about you, and then I went on your social media handles and I just loved it. I was like, this person is building a global. Not only is she, Nigerian American, but she's building a global brand, because a lot of the events that you do are like African, or they're like American, or they're just, and it's very interesting, the brand that you're building. And it made me very excited, because there's not that many people who can mesh it as well as you can.
Right. Oh, thank you, sis. I appreciate that. No, thank you. Look, now my cheeks hurt. Oh gosh.
I know, that's so much. Like, people are probably going to be like really irritated. But I think it's happy. Like, what I'm trying to do is promote us, but also highlight what we're doing in a fun, lighthearted way. Like, this is life. We're all trying to hustle and get.
And I see you. You're doing your thing, sis. Because I was stalking your page. I'm horrible at liking, but I would say it out like, yes, like that's me. And I'm like, how are they going to know you're saying yes if you're not necessarily liking? But then again, people are liking, and that doesn't mean they really like it, So I'm just like, well, I love what's going on here. I'd rather just tell you when I see you. So I think you should keep it up. You're doing great. Your page is looking amazing. You should have had 10K followers by now, or even better.
Man.
It's coming.
I know. I definitely think it's coming. I just think that, like you, I'm laying down the groundwork. I think that is what, I've noticed that people who are building really strong social media accounts, who have a really powerful energy on social media, either it's YouTube, podcasting, whatever they're doing on Instagram, etc. They lay down the groundwork when nobody was watching them, nobody was looking. They were laying down groundwork that they just continue doing.
Yes.
And then they blew up 5 years later. I think it takes at least 5 to 10 years before people blow up. So
it's true.
For overnight successes. But no, I think that is very important about social media. And that's why I'm going to definitely encourage people to check out your social media handles, because I was totally impressed at how, because what I do, I'm, a stalker / journalist. I will scroll down to like the very first post, and I'll go through like the years of them posting and see how they change. And that's what I did with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe she started this in 2013. Your profile is so fleshed out. It's fantastic. And it's like, it tells me exactly what you do. And you're very, multi-talented, and it was very interesting.
Thank you.
Well, definitely.
I appreciate it.
I love talking to you. I love chatting with you about your goals and everything that you're doing. I know that in the next couple of years, we're going to see you on TV.
Amen.
So thank you so much for being a part of my show. And I think that's where I'm going to end it. But no, seriously, thank you so much, Liz. I love chatting with you.
Same here. I appreciate it.
Oh, and to really document my process of moving to Nigeria, I want to move to Nigeria. Let me be specific. I want to move to Lagos in Nigeria. I want to live in Lekki, phase 1. I believe in clearly stating what you want, like, out in the world.